Hello everyone, Railgan here today with a Zerg vs Protoss game played on the American ladder between Rideout, my friend, against his opponent Anfield the Protoss. Rideout reached out to me and he asked me, how would you have responded to this cannon rush? I know you approach cannon rushes differently. Yeah, I approach cannon rushes very differently. But first of all, let's see how Rideout is approaching this. This game is played on the newest patch. We can tell by the 2000 Vespene gas geysers here. Rideout is starting from the get-go with a double extractor trick. His opponent is starting with a pylon at home. So I assume it's going to be the double extractor trick into 2 drones, into a hatch, Overlord pool, which is a build that I recently made a video on. But well, we will see how this is playing out. The opponent is going for a very fast forge, of course no gas, as you do not need gas when you're playing with Ken Rush opening. Probe is moving into position to start throwing down the pylons. Rideout has not yet noticed that. Overlord is being built in the main base, rallied straight to the natural to spot any Ken rushes. If we look at the early text message that was sent, I assume they faced before and Rideout is expecting the cannon rush. We see a very fast pool follow-up and now he's droning up. So far so good, right? This is how it's supposed to be. I think the build looks quite... Now the first cannon is building it. I've been in exactly this position before many times where I'm getting cannon rushed at my natural, end up losing the natural. But usually they do not put a gateway there. Like, this is more of the classic Ken Rush. The modern Ken Rushes that I face a lot are just there to kill my natural and then build the units at home. But this guy is actually going fully committed by also putting the gateway at the front. At this point, yes, you can cancel the hatch, or you could have let it finish. If you let the hatch finish, you can start throwing down spine crawlers, and I think you would mostly be fine, even if you eventually... Like, the thing that I usually go for in this scenario when I spot this is I let the hatch finish and I just start throwing down spine crawlers. He will kill the hatchery, but he will not be able to further cannon rush. Then you build the first queen in the main, send it down to the natural, plop down a tumor immediately, and you will be mostly fine, because the hatchery creep will make it so you cannot put creep in this area, then the queen throws down a creep tumor. But that's just one possible answer. At this point, what you need to do is you need to build Zerglings immediately. Because if you're trying to expand to another base and you do not build Zerglings, please build some Zerglings. It seems like you're not doing that. If you do not build Zerglings, you can just cannon rush you in this space. But if you build 4 to 6 links, or even 2 links can be enough sometimes, you can stop the probe. Even if he has 1 cannon finished, which he would not have, but even if he had 1 cannon finished, you could easily run 3 out of 4 links past the cannon and get some support for that hatchery. You can also send 3 drones over here, lose 1 drone and build a hatchery if you already had a cannon at the front. That's also something I like to do. But let's have a look at what the Rideout is doing. We see a Roachborn follow-up, we see the hatchery, the salad is going into the main. Once again, no Zerglings means no answer to the salad. The probe is, yeah, this is what I was scared of. He is going for a cannon rush. Cybernetics core at home is researching warp gate. 1 gas is being taken by the Protoss. Stalkers are being chronoed out now. So it appears that the Protoss is gonna try and lock Rideout here into his main base. And ooh, another cancel on this base here. It really hurts when you cannot get your second base up, because you have a lot of money. You're floating a lot of money now. Like, you need to find a way to spend your money. Build more queens, build a hatchery in the main base. You have to do something. Like, you cannot, otherwise you're gonna end up dead in the ditch. Also, no inject on your main base. The creep tumor placement was not that. I mean, you probably figured that one out yourself. There's still a drone out on the map trying to put down a base, but at this point you're basically playing a 1 base versus 1 base game, so you're not gonna break out of this. Like, this is a contain that you will not break. The only thing you can do now is get a lair, because First of all, you can just build 4 sentries and put you in your main base indefinitely, more or less. And second of all, he will pressure you a lot with stalkers. What you should aim for is either a Nidus over here. You could proxy hatch his natural, so he has to build defense at home. But you have to do something. Maybe don't do the proxy hatch. It might be a little bit late at this point in the game. He can just... But he could just recall units. But you have to do something that makes him recall units that is not overcommitted from you. Yeah, because you run down here, you almost lose a Ravager for it, because you have to run into the cannons. You place these quite smartly. Now it's just starting to build more and more stalkers. I don't think you're going to... cannon sadly survives. Like you are losing out on time here. The vials are really good. Like this is the good vial play that we need. No inject on the main base, no full saturation. You're still floating 400 minerals as well. So maybe just build a macro hatchery and a lair. Okay, at this point, build a macro hatchery and a lair, and I think you have an actual shot. But yeah, another hatchery gets cancelled over here. It's all because you didn't get out those early links. I mean, you could still, if you get link speed, you could have gotten out links a long time ago and just help your drone out on the map. You could clean up these pylons. You could do a lot of things with them. But running up a ramp into cannon, shield, battery, stalker, sentry is not a way to win the game. Oh yeah, now the new force fields are also in the game. Rideout also mentioned something about the force fields. Let me see, what did he say? He said, I'm not sure if I'm respecting the new force fields too much. So I assume he's gonna get his army cut in half by force fields here soon. Now the lair is coming. We could have built the lair a long time ago. Like, look how much money you're floating. You're also not injecting. Like, you have triple queen, but there are no injects. I mean, transfuses are nice. You're also not creep spreading rapidly. But that's not the important things. Inject, get a fast lair, maybe a macro hatch in your main if you cannot get one out on the map. And maybe add some links to it. You have 600 minerals. 600 minerals are a lot of links. That could be built right there. 24 links. They really make a difference. Oh yeah, this is dangerous. Yep. It's very hard to move down the ramp. You have to do some trickery here. For example, what you could do is more drop overlords. You have enough money for that with your lair done. And you could drop your units over here and then walk them down. But yeah, sorry, let's have another look at the fight here. We see when you bile the force field, they turn red first as their duration gets half, their max duration. But yeah, I mean, you're running down a ramp and you're bleeding out on resources while being on a Versico. Your opponent already has his natural as well. So, what would I have done? Let's have a little look-see here quickly. First of all, point number 1, either let this hatchery finish and build 3 spine crawlers, or cancel it. Even if you lose it after you let it finish in building spines, you're usually fine. Because your opponent, because you can then also build some Zergings, just send them across the map. The opponent has to invest in defense at home, and you can slowly clean this up with spines. I usually start 3 and finish 2. Because 2 spine crawlers can kill a cannon if need be. Then early Zerglings to shut down the probe. So you can actually expand. Fully drone up your main base. Do not over-invest into roaches for defense here. I mean, this is fine. Like keep the hatchery injected. I know they buffed larva creation, guys, but it's not buffed by that much. Then we want that fast lair. Right now you have enough money to build a macro hatch and a lair, but you're not doing that. And you're expanding over here again. But even with this expansion, you have enough money to build a macro hatch and a lair. And do not try to push down into this. Like, I don't think that works. Either you drop Overlord, or you Nidus him in his main, or you build Swarmos at home. You have to do something. But do not do what you tried in this game. Never works for me, at least. Because I think this is exactly what the Protoss wants, right? You're playing right into his hands. With that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave me a comment in the comment. Tell me about your Can Rush adventures. How would you have responded to this Can Rush? Do you struggle with Can Rushes? Thank you very much. See you soon, boys.